you have these in your house and you want to remove them? Or this 1980s, 1990s type of porcelain in your home? Well, I'm going to show you the way I remove them and restore the wall to its orange peel texture. Removing this, filling in the holes, and making this match perfectly. Stay with me as I do this project. Maybe you have to do it too. So while I was off video, I have a number of these around the house that I'm working on. I gently tapped on each side of this, and I used the right tool, of course, which is a mallet. This prevents chipping. If you use a conventional hammer, it might chip and go into your eye. So this is a rubber piece. And you tap on them on each side. And you can usually remove them in whole pieces, unless you really hit it too hard. And then you simply take a scraper and you get the residual material off the edges. And then you're left with a hole in your drywall. Now, a lot of you are going to say, oh, I don't do it like that, Spencer. We can do a California patch in these holes. Absolutely. But we can also make a nice block of solid. We can essentially make a piece of sheetrock with mesh tape and 5-minute mud. And so what I did was, as you can see, this mesh, I covered the whole opening with one piece going down and several overlapping. So one here, one overlapping here on this one, and the next one overlaps, and the last one. And I extended it twice the size of the hole, so that the mesh is gripping onto the wall outside of the hole, so that the hole is strengthened when I fill it with compound. That's what you're left with. Does that sound like a weak fix? You extend the mesh beyond the hole twice the size of your patch, and you thereby strengthen what you're going to put on there. This mesh is gripping that repair in place. So now I filled it in with my 5-minute mud. And now I'm going to put 2 more layers on it. One to fill this in, bring it flush, and then one to make it smooth. And then we're going to make it unsmooth by reapplying the texture. So now I'm taking my 5-minute mud and my 12-inch knife. And I'm bringing it just beyond the flush level. I'm feathering it out. Why is that? So when you look down that repair, you don't see a hump. I'm feathering it out because we had 4 corners on that repair, right? And so each of those corners is going to catch the compound and make the repair unflushed, believe it or not. You see where it's sticking out a bit right here on this corner? Can you see that? Well, that's what corners do. And so this last coat before I texture makes it all nice and the same level. So with my 5-minute mud in the pan, I'm just going to put it on here. It's starting to harden. And this coat, this third coat, is supposed to make it look like there's no repair. It's 5-minute mud. So I'm working quickly, keeping in mind not to leave any bumpiness to come back to. No, this has to be as perfect as I can make it. Because dries really quick. There's no fixing it. Notice the angle at which I'm doing my last coat. My whole blade is practically up against the wall. Let me bring you in closer. When I do this last coat, look at how close the blade is to the wall. Right? Okay. Let's smooth down the edges. Remember, you're going to be texturing it. Doesn't have to be flat. You basically creating a transition from the repair into a textured surface. All right, so like right there, that's too much of a ridge. I might have to shave that, but for the most part, that's all you're doing. You're just pushing the repair compound into the textured area where you start seeing the peaks of the texture. You see the peaks showing through, those colored? You transitioned well if you got that. But any ridges, obviously, you want to get rid of them. After you've gotten rid of the ridges and you like what you're looking at, it's nice and smooth, you're ready to apply texture. Now, you know there's several ways by which you can apply texture, one of which is compressor, hopper, the traditional way. But with the advent of these pressurized cans comes the quick fix it, not the most economic way to proceed, but certainly the quickest. Okay, this is not my favorite texture can. This is not. In fact, I don't like Homax. Building materials and other manufactured things such as vehicles these days after COVID are very hard to come by. And not only that, their prices have increased because of the reduced availability. I'm proceeding as I can. This is the best I could find, okay? I don't like this can because this is not manufactured well. If you press on this to clear it out, it starts spraying out all over your hands. It's not a good product in my opinion. But the smaller cans, and I feature them on my channel, the smaller cans are best for orange peel. I just forget the name brand that I use. So let's go. We're masked off beneath. I'm going to start literally 20 inches or so away from the wall, and I'm starting above the repair and around it. I'm going in a circular motion, and I'm feathering this out. Okay. Notice you keep it moving. Keep that thing moving. You certainly don't want the texture to start looking like lines. When I say lines, I'm talking about knockdown, okay? I'm coming in closer because my pressure is reducing and I'm starting to get the lines. I'm going to have to clean that off. Okay, let me shake it and try to reapply. Let's see how that looks when she dries up. Again, I highly recommend that you don't get Homax. Okay, I thought I was videoing when I did that repair over there, but I wasn't. So I said during the video that wasn't taking a video. I do not recommend you use this. Okay, so I'm about 20 inches away and I'm holding the can parallel with the wall. Not like this, not like this, but like this. And why is that? So you don't get angular flashing. You'll create a bunch of shadows after the wall is painted. When you spray texture, you want to keep it parallel with the surface against which you're spraying the texture. Going back and forth, you can see that it's coming out so-so. I'm going above the repair and continue like this. And I will do the rest off camera, or maybe I'll put it on the side. Now I'm about 8 to 10 inches away from the wall. It's working out better. I'm going in a circular fashion. This is why I don't like this can. I don't like this product. Too much involved to make it right. You know, this is supposed to be for the do-it-yourselfer. Do-it-yourselfer goes out and spends $20 on a can of texture. It's got to work without a lot of know-how. And that's why I don't like this can. I'm going to turn it upside down. It seems to work better. Okay, let's go into the toilet area. Okay, so I didn't like that can. In fact, I hated it. This is a better product. You see the color on top? Now let me show you. I scraped the texture off. This comes out much better. I'm sure you will agree just by watching. See, I want the thinner one. Why couldn't the last can do it? And then if you want it thicker, you can adjust the dial or simply continue to go over it. I'm going to adjust the dial. So I've adjusted the dial. Again, it's not a great product. This white thing is about to come off of the can. But I'm just going to make do until somebody else comes out and challenges the folks who make this stuff. We have to work with these people. Not a bad result when you consider everything, right? Just keep shaking it up. These things will knock off, these big blobs. Just concentrate. These are easily wipe off. I mean, you have to do a little cleanup after you use these spray cans. And so there we go. We're going to wait till that dries. Don't judge yet. Hold your judgment until I paint it. Just so you know, I took a mop and I went over the texture 2 hours after it was sprayed. Same thing in here. And so I expect a perfect match, believe it or not. So this is the after. And, you know, it's just a dark bathroom. So there was a toilet holder and I had to remove it. You know, one of those old-fashioned ones, the porcelain ones. I took it out, filled it in with 5-minute mud and mesh, and essentially created a new piece of sheetrock by sandwiching 5-minute mud in between mesh. Smoothed it out, applied texture. And that's the deal right there. Painted it the same day, which it all has to dry now. The plaster is still curing underneath the paint, but Okay, we're at the end of the day. We did our repair. You'll remember the little bathroom where we did the toilet tissue repair. And so let me just get in there and show you the texture match. You'll remember that I did those two. That's still drying. And then I did the one over here with some helpers, which will introduce you at the very end. So let's get in there. Okay, so here we go. Of course, we use tape. Look at the beautiful luster of that hybrid paint from Sherwin-Williams. It literally, it's so good that it looks like it was sprayed on, doesn't it? This is the Emerald series of Sherwin-Williams. I do not work for them, but if they make a good product, I'm going to tell you about it. Okay, and that's where we did, just hold the light right there, and that's our repair. You can see that the texture matches pretty well. Okay, sorry about the lighting. I hope I'm doing a fine job for you. This is our repair. That is the area we repaired. Let me back up, show you from here. Again, sorry about the lighting. And I'll just back out. You may have to do it once or twice over, but you can do this. You can do this yourself if you put your mind to it. If you like the video, please click on like. Tell me how you do your texture matches. Now let me introduce you to the helpers. So, of course I thought I would introduce you to the helpers. Now, while this was drying, we started painting the rest of the room. And of course, we did our repairs over here. That's the texture match. Now let me introduce you to the helpers. Now, I had a 7-year-old helper, little Dennis. And of course, we had to get the help of little Veronica. And then of course, the biggest helper, Erica. Thank you for your help. Say bye.
Bye.